Hello, beautiful people, and welcome back to the Miracle Mommies Network, where we reignite hope one testimony at a time. The purpose, of this podcast is pretty simple. We're here to be vulnerable and share our testimonies to provide hope for all the aspiring miracle mommies out there. The journey to motherhood can be messy, long, hard, and if we're truthful, it can be a bit stressful. Today's episode is timely because my pastor actually just preached a sermon about how hard it can be to be happy for others when life seems unfair. I mentioned this because he used a birthday party analogy that was really good and that really kind of drove the point home. He basically said, you don't want to be the kid that shows up at another kid's birthday party and gets mad because there's no presents for you and no cake with your name on it. It's not your birthday yet, but just know that it's coming. And I was like, wow, that is so good. And that's how it is with seasons of life sometimes. It can feel like when you're waiting on God's timing, you're waiting forever. But waiting literally has the potential to break you if you let it. But in my season of waiting, God actually gave me this scripture. So it's Jeremiah 29:7. And I'm going to give you two different versions because I couldn't choose between them both. So in the NIV version, it's also seek the peace and prosperity of the city to which I have carried you into exile. Pray to the Lord for it, because if it prospers, you too will prosper. And in the Amplified version, it says, seek peace and well being for the city where I have sent you into exile, and pray to the Lord on its behalf. For, for in its peace, you will have peace. And that really helped me to keep holding on to the little bit of hope that I had at the time and stir up that little teeny bit of faith, the size of a mustard seed, that I had left during my season of waiting. Now, before we get started, I think it's important to issue a trigger warning for this episode as well, because we are going to be talking about baby loss. So if you don't feel like you're in a mental, emotional place to handle this conversation and to listen to this episode, sis, nobody will judge you for skipping this one out. Now, today, our special guest is none other than Mrs. Christina Pierre. She and I actually met at church. She's a worship leader extraordinaire, a musician extraordinaire, a vocal beast. Need I say more? I sang with her many moons ago, and I just love her to pieces. She has such an infectious personality, and you'll see during this episode, like, you won't be able to get enough of her. This is actually pre-COVID, I think. Yeah, it was definitely pre-COVID when we met. But anyway, I will allow this queen to introduce herself. So, Christina, tell the people a little bit about yourself.
Yeah, hi, my name is Christina Pierre. I don't know about no vocal beast, but I have been in music since elementary. I am a chorus teacher at a high school in Palm Beach County. I am a vocal coach. I anything music, I'm there. Like that's something that I've always done. Let's see, I have three girls, one for the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Uh, I have been with my husband. This year is like 22 years. We getting old.
What?
22 years.
Girl. Wow.
22 years. Oh, Jesus. Yeah. And I'm just happy to be here, happy to be a part of talking about this journey. Just like you said, we met. It was definitely pre-COVID. We've been singing for a long time. It was way before COVID. Way before COVID. Let's not put dates because we're still young.
Touche. Yes.
Yeah.
Still young. Period.
Period. Yeah. But that's pretty much who I am.
Okay. Cool. Well, yes, sis. I start out every episode with this same question. Tell us about your path to motherhood for your first miracle baby.
Okay. So we got married like 2010, and I was always told in the beginning, like when I was younger, that I guess it was going to be a struggle to have kids, but for some reason, right when I got married, I got next month. So I don't know how that happened or what happened because I was like, the doctor said that that's not what was going to happen. But the doctor lied, but
Mhm, mhm.
it felt easy to get pregnant, but it was, yeah. I we got pregnant with twins, like, so we got married in June, found out we were pregnant with twins, and it was unexpected, but we by month 4 we had already lost both twins. So that was tough. And then we got pregnant again right after and lost that baby as well. And then right when I was scheduling an appointment to like get on birth control because it was just a year of getting pregnant and losing multiple pregnancies. When I went to the appointment, the doctor kept changing and canceling the appointment, like, oh, we're in surgery today. We can't do this. We can't do that. And I'm like, okay. Then when I finally go to get the birth control, they're like, you're pregnant. And I'm like, I don't understand how that happened.
Wow.
So I don't know. It was just a whole bunch of roller coasters. Um, but I mean, it wasn't really planned. It was just like a whatever happens, happens. It was a lot of trauma, but it was hard.
Flowers that was talking about.
Thank you, Layla.
He said
I'm
flowers.
just about to end.
Sweetie. Oh, take the flower.
Flowers from the baby. All right, go sit down, girl. I'm recording. Thank you.
But
I'm
yeah,
sorry.
no, it's fine. That was really the path. So like it felt like I was pregnant for almost like 2 years because like I said, we got married in 2010 and Alyssa didn't wasn't born until 2012. So from 2010 to 2012, there were multiple pregnancies and losses that were very traumatizing, even to the point where when I had Alyssa, I went through so much postpartum depression. I didn't even want to hold her. I wouldn't let anybody else hold her, and I didn't want to hold her because I was like, she's just gonna die. That was my mindset. Don't get attached because if I get attached, then I'll feel the loss. I kind of like buried the loss away until when I had her, like it really started spiraling. That was kind of the journey
Wow.
to that one.
Oh my
Yeah.
goodness. Yeah, that is a lot. When you were going through this, what was your doctor's like recommendation?
So I had one weird doctor, which was my primary, like the main doctor, and then he was just like doing too much. I don't know how else to explain it, but he ended up saving my life. So my husband would tell this story better than me, but I first had when I got pregnant with the twins, I had a different doctor who left the practice. So during that time, I was seeing because I had I forgot what you call it, but it's like where you throw up the entire time. Like
Oh,
it didn't
hyper.
matter. Yeah, it's like this big word, hyper something. But I was in the hospital in and out every week needing IV fluids. I had lost like over 50 pounds within the first month of being pregnant with the twins.
Ooh,
It was a lot. And so that doctor sent me to the high risk doctor, and that's the doctor that I kind of like grew more in a relationship with because I had to see him every week. And so what we started noticing was like around month 3, that's when they said that I had they thought that I had, because I'm not going to speak that they thought that I had an insufficient cervix, and so I had to go get surgery in order to keep my cervix closed. So at month 3, they rushed me in to have that surgery because they saw that my cervix started dilating at 3 months, and they tried to save the babies. So I had that surgery done by the high risk doctor. And then a month later, I was at home and my water broke. And it was at first, it was only just the one baby. So when we were rushed to the hospital, went to the hospital, and the doctor, the high risk doctor was amazing. He tried everything. So the baby boy, because I had a boy and a girl, the baby boy had came out, and but they did an ultrasound, and the girl was still kicking, still breathing, still everything.
Hmm.
Um, and so they were gonna rush me to Miami so I can get sewed back up so that they can try to save the girl. And that was like, I was hopeful, but then at the same time, like I was just like, I don't know what I was thinking in the moment. It was just everything went by so fast. And I remember having to use the restroom while I was in the hospital. I was like, I gotta pee, I gotta pee. Like, and it was like, well, you can't get up, you gotta get on a bedpan. And even to this day, like I still have to forgive myself because I felt like if I never asked to use the bathroom, I would have kept my daughter. But I guess that urge to like go to the bathroom, I felt a pop in my stomach, and I was like, I think my water broke, but they didn't see anything. And I was like, no, there's something popped. And
Hmm.
then next thing you know, they're calling in the doctor and they're telling me, you have to push her out. And I'm like, what?
Wow.
It was horrible. And then my husband was there. We had to push her out. They were still too young to have a burial because I guess they said that at 5 months is when they have a burial. And so we had to push her. They let us hold her. They wrapped her, took her footprints and fingerprints and all that stuff. And it was a it's I
Wow.
still can't imagine it. Like because they were still too little to, I don't want to like go into details without freaking people out, but they didn't have skin yet.
Right.
So it was like the muscle, but like a full blown baby. I've never seen that before in my life. Like we had to close her mouth. Like it
Oh.
was tough. And they took pictures, and Rob hid it somewhere. I don't even know where it is. I had to stop looking at it because it was like, mm-mm. But yeah, that was the first one. I'll never forget their birthdays. It was in November, so we lost them in November. And the high risk doctor was nice, but the main doctor, come to find out, he thought that the reason why I lost them was because we had later found out that I had a tooth infection. And
Hmm.
apparently, your teeth is very important when you are pregnant. That it any kind of infection goes directly to your bloodstream, and so they think that that was the cause. That's what they said, but I don't know.
Oh,
I
wow.
don't know. He was the weird doctor. That's why I was like, he was a weird one. The high risk doctor was my friend. Um,
Oh, man. Whew.
it was
Woo. Yeah. Talk about like traumatizing.
it is.
And thank God you are still
Especially
standing, still in your right mind.
that part, because like I had after I had Alyssa, which was the miracle baby that I didn't want to get attached to, and then we got pregnant again with twins because Aaliyah is a twin.
That's right. Aaliyah's a twin.
So reliving that whole thing all over again was, yeah,
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 that is ever so rough. So that whole pregnancy with Aaliyah, you basically were just praying that she survived.
yeah. So like since that the pregnancy with the twins, every time I got pregnant, they made me have a surgery. to keep my cervix closed. So even with Alyssa, I had to have that surgery, and then the only way that I could give birth is them clipping the sutures.
Oh, that's
Um, so with her, I had the surgery. Then with Aaliyah, who was a twin, the day before surgery, I had to go get checked to make sure like everything was fine. And at that same appointment, the doctor was like, the other baby's heartbeat stopped. And I'm like, okay. And what are we gonna do? He was like, okay, we'll see you tomorrow. I'm like, we're just
Oh,
not gonna say
so
anything, like
about that, not gonna anything? Oh, wow.
nothing. I mean, like it was the most insensitive thing that I've ever, because I'm like, you can't just say, okay, the baby's heart stopped. I'll see you tomorrow at surgery. Like I literally was like, I don't even want to have the surgery. Why am I having the surgery? The baby's just gonna die. Let's not get attached. That was my biggest thing. Don't get attached because then it won't hurt as much. And I promise you, I had the surgery the next day because my husband was like, you need to get the surgery. And I was like, she's just gonna die. And I was just very negative throughout the whole entire thing, just not attached. But it was funny because in the ultrasounds, every time we would go see her, she would wave. And I'm like, am I
Wow.
tripping? Or like, is this baby waving at me? Every ultrasound pic, that girl is like, I'm here. Like, hey,
He's like,
it was,
"Mommy,
it
it's
was,
gonna be okay."
it was. I promise you, like, even the ultrasound tech was like, I don't know what it is about this little girl, but she just wants you to know, like, she was so active, like, we ain't going nowhere. It was crazy.
Wow. Wow, wow, wow. Oh my gosh. That is wow, friend.
Yeah. It didn't feel wow in the moment. It felt like, Lord, I can't do this again. It's just loss after loss and feeling like, you promised me something and why am I going through this again? I've done everything that I needed to do. I was careful. I put myself on bed rest. Why am I still losing? That's what it felt like in the moment. But when I look back now, it's like, okay, God, I may not understand your reasonings behind it, but you've been faithful.
Now that is the statement of a mature saint right there.
Yeah. It took a while to get there, though. I'm not gonna lie.
Oh, I can imagine. I can imagine. That is unspeakable pain. My God. But he is faithful. You are
Yes.
100% right. So overall, how would you describe the care that you were given, medical care that you were given
Um, I
before, but
think
I guess we could talk about like during birth and postpartum?
I think that it was okay. There wasn't anything where I felt like I was being ignored or anything like that. I think that God sent like specific nurses to like help me. I don't know. I remember one nurse that I never met her before in my life, and she just happened to walk by the room, and I just motioned her to come in because with the pregnancy with Aaliyah, she had pooped inside me. So they were like wanting to take me to get a C-section. And I was terrified. And I was saying no. And this nurse who just happened to walk by, like I said, I never met her. She said to the doctors, no, no, give her another chance to help me push the baby out because apparently my cervix started to swell. And it, somehow, some way, she helped keep it open in order for Aaliyah to pass through. So when I say like
Wow.
God sent strategic people, because my husband was like, "Do you know her?" I was like, "I have no idea." who that nurse is. Never met her before in my life. She just happened to walk by and I told her to come in here. So maybe my spirit recognized her spirit.
Yep.
I don't know. But it just happened that way. Um my like I said, the first pregnancy I think they were more nicer. But I feel like sometimes doctors get so desensitized to mothers going through this, so they think that you know, but you don't know. There's so much fear. You can't tell a patient to relax when we don't know what's going on. Like, so this by the second, like losing the twin and having to have the surgery, like I said, with him being insensitive, like, okay, see you tomorrow. And I'm like, what? Talk me through this. What happened? Like, how did this there wasn't any of that. That was the thing that I did not like the most, was that by the second loss, it was just something that I just had to get used to. That's what it felt like.
Ooh, devil is a liar. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Yeah, there definitely is a lot of that going around, especially and unfortunately for Black women.
Right. Right.
Ay, ay, ay. Well, how do you feel like what you were going through affected your relationships, your work life?
Well, I'll say with my work life, like when I had the twins, and I lost them, I literally left my job because there were so many people. So I worked in the healthcare at that time, and at my old hospital, every time people saw me, they'd be like, "How's the twins?" And I'm like,
Oh,
it was so much that I was like, yeah, we're just gonna go ahead and move to a whole nother. I left that part. Um, when it comes to like relationships with people, I felt like there were people who were insensitive. I'll never forget, I had just lost the twins. So we had them in November. And by Mother's Day of the next year, I had already lost the twins plus another loss. And our church was having like this Mother's Day tea party. And I signed up because I wanted to go. And literally, one of the ladies was like, "You can't go to the Mother's Day tea party because you're not a mom."
I know you lying.
I'm not lying. I cried
Oh my
so
God.
much. And I said, I am a mom. Just because my kids aren't here doesn't mean I'm not a mom. That broke me. Like, and it's funny too because me and the lady are still friends, but if she could have saw how much that cut so deep, and it's crazy because like what that was, we're in 2025, that was over 15 years ago. That's how bad, like I can remember what she was wearing, where it happened. Like that right there hurt me to the core because I'm like, who says that?
Legit. Legit. Ay, ay, ay. And the sad part is a lot of people, especially in the church community, they just don't realize just
Mm,
how insensitive and hurtful a lot of the things they say and do really are.
of course. Well, I know you probably heard this before. Like I remember another lady was like, "Well, maybe God just took them away for a reason, or like this happened for a reason." And I'm like, "So you mean to tell me that God was like, oops, she got pregnant. Let me take them away." Because that's the way y'all made it seem like. So it just, some things that people don't realize what they say sits with you. And then you start to blame yourself. Like, what's wrong with me? And how come everybody else can have babies and it's easy? And I keep losing mine. Am I a bad person? Is this God paying me back? Those are the things that like started to play in your mind based on what these people were saying. I'm like, yo, I had to cut that out because it'll
Oh yeah.
make you crazy.
I tell you that the number one reason why a lot of people opt not to go to church is church
Mm,
people.
yep. They mean well, but if you don't know what to say, just hush and just show
Yeah,
the love and pray for them. Don't try to give your reasoning because that makes it worse.
it really does. And sometimes, honestly, the best thing to do is just listen.
Right.
You don't have to say anything.
That's right. Yeah.
Ooh wee. Oh my goodness. Oh girl. That just like breaks my heart in so many ways. But again, thank God for his grace and mercy. Cause child, I don't know. I don't know. I would have had to backslide that day.
Listen, see the old me.
Girl would have blown up on that day.
I done said some words to her. I did in the church people house. I did.
Hey, it's like that sometimes.
Yeah. She
Help
knew
us.
right then and that I wasn't for play play. She knew I wasn't for play play after that.
Amen.
Yeah.
Try Jesus, don't try me.
Not me. Not Christina. Mm-mm. No.
Oh, my Lord. Oh, wow.
Mm.
So, when did you decide the time was right to try again for your third baby, for Elena?
So kind of funny like how things work, but I just really believe that God promised to me that I was gonna have my twins because the first set was twins and then Aaliyah was a twin. So then like the reason why I believe that is because my dad told me, these island parents, they always having dreams. So he
Mhm.
had told me before I was pregnant that I was gonna have three sets of twins. I already had two.
Hmm.
So I was named after his mother or his grandmother, but he calls him his mom. And she had three sets of twins. So he believed that I was going to have three sets of twins. So I kept wanting to have another baby because I wanted to, number one, like get my son. That's what I thought was going to happen. So I'm like, I kept begging my husband literally to have another child. So I took the IUD out when I think Aaliyah was like two, close to two. And like that, right away, as soon as that thing came out, I got pregnant again. I got like, I'm fertile myrtle. Like, I can get pregnant. It's just holding them was the hardest thing. So, without even like I think I just wanted to feel like I could, just like I said, get my son back. So that's kind of really what the motivation was. Rob wasn't really for it because he was tired of losing so much, but I think because he wanted to make me happy, he kind of just went along with it.
I got you.
And yeah, had the same thing with the you got to get surgery and all of this stuff. And I told them I don't have that problem and I'm not getting surgery.
Okay, sis.
And I did not get surgery. I told
Talk
them,
about big faith.
yeah, I'm like, I don't have this insufficient cervix. And I don't care. There's like, well, you need to sign something waiving your right. I was like, I could sign whatever you want. I'm not getting that surgery. Y'all not doing that. I will hold this baby. And that's that. And I was like, well, then you need to take these pills. And I was like, okay, you can give me the pills. Never took the pills. Never
Hmm,
took them. To the point where Elena wouldn't come out. The
that's
cervix
right.
would not dilate. I
Hey,
believe God wholeheartedly. I was like, I don't have that problem. And I'm not going to do what you told me to do.
come on.
I literally learned to speak. over myself and stop believing what these doctors tell you. Because, I mean, I'm not going to say that, sometimes the doctors are right, but sometimes when you allow them to speak that stuff in your ear, you start to believe it. And I was like, I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that.
Wow.
Yeah, that was some crazy faith though.
Hey, talk about crazy hey, that's it, sis.
Yeah.
Mhm. That's using that authority.
Yes. I was shocked because like then I'm like, okay, she's past her due date. It's time to come out. Sis was like, nope, we're not coming out at all. At all.
I love it. I love it. My gosh. So, last but not least, what's your prayer for all the aspiring miracle mommies out there?
I would say you need to really get a word. Like get a word over your life. Not necessarily what everybody else is saying, but like allow the Lord to speak to you because in due time we were created to have babies. We were created, and God, even in your barren season, He can still do a miracle. I think that you need to surround yourself with people who have faith to believe with you and literally close the door to all the naysayers, even if it's just that one person. My prayer is that they also continue to trust in the process because it feels like it's never going to happen. But the God that we serve can literally do anything, anything,
Period.
and it's in His timing. That's the hard part.
Whew. Talk about hard. That's the doozy. But God is gracious. And can I just say to you, friend, I can remember when I was going to get my IUI procedure done to have Layla. And I'll never forget when you said to me, make sure that you go in there and you don't have any doubt whatsoever in your mind, not a shadow of a doubt that this is your time and this is going to work. And I was like, God, I hear you. And literally that is what I did. And
Man,
nobody ever gets pregnant on the first try with IUI.
you're telling me that. But see, you're not nobody.
Come through.
Not
Yeah.
nobody. God has a way of doing things. He does the impossible so that you know that it's Him.
Oh yes. Because he's the only one that can get glory for that.
Yeah, I remember that moment.
And although the process can be so messy, so hard, so sad, so many things, like God chose you birth a miracle. God
Right?
chose you, Christina, to birth 3 miracles.
Yes.
And that in itself is amazing.
Sometimes you got to remember that, like, man, God, am I even worthy for someone to be calling me mom? I'm not perfect. I still mess up. These kids are looking at me and I'm trying to follow you, struggling. But God knows exactly who you are and He gives you those kids specifically for a reason. So it has to be my whole entire motherhood has to be relied on Him because I can't do it. It has to be Him. It has to be Him.
Facts on facts. Oh my goodness. Can I just tell you, you bless the people today, Christina. You bless the people.
I'm happy to be a blessing.
Thank you so much again for your yes. Thank you for touching the lives of others through your testimony. And I can't wait to see how many people overcome by the word of your testimony.
Amen. Praise God.
Well, that's all we have for you, beautiful people. Until next time, we'll see you on the next episode of the Miracle Mommies Network.